In today's video, I'm going to cover a topic that's a little different from my past videos. I'm going to be talking about what islands should be added to Grand Peace Online. Now, before I start the discussion, let me make it clear that I like the islands in GPO that are in the game currently, and I feel like GPO did a very good job of building these islands. I feel like they managed to capture the size of the islands really well, so they're not too small or too big. I also want to emphasize the importance of islands to a One Piece Roblox game. One of the key themes in One Piece is the theme of adventure, and I feel like in order to capture that in a game, you have to have good and interesting islands. That explorative element needs to be highlighted, and that is why I feel like some One Piece games don't get remembered as being great, because they don't put enough time into the islands, and you end up with these like blocky, boring islands with no character. Every island you go to should look and feel different. It should be a new adventure, a new experience. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get right into the suggestions. Okay, so my first suggestion is one of the most memorable islands from One Piece. The island in question is Enies Lobby. Enies Lobby is a government-controlled stronghold in the first half of the Grand Line. The island is somewhat of a judicial island, and pirates are effectively tried and convicted all in this island. Instead of going over every bit of Enies Lobby, I'm just going to highlight the key areas that I'd like to see added. Okay, so one of the most noticeable buildings in Enies Lobby is this giant tower called the Tower of Justice. This would be a really cool addition to the GPO, and I'd like to see some sort of Rokushiki boss here. The easiest thing to do would be to just add every single member of Cypherpole, however this could cause copyright issues, so I'd be fine with you just adding a original Rokushiki boss, as long as the boss is unique and doesn't feel like a bandit using Rokushiki. Since the tower has multiple floors, one way you could lay out the bosses would be to have one on each floor, with the power level increasing as you go up. If this was added, I'd like to see it done in a way so that in order to advance to the next floor, you'd need to kill the boss of that floor. Another key part of Enies Lobby that I'd like to see captured in Grand Peace Online would be the main gate. So in One Piece, the gate is guarded by two giants. It would be cool if they added these giants into GPO, as it would be an interesting way to incorporate the first giant bosses into GPO of that scale. The only other thing I want to mention about Enies Lobby is just the overall design of the island. So the main islands on Enies Lobby are located above a huge waterfall ring. This would be a really nice addition to GPO, because it would add that extra level of danger to the islands, since you could knock other players off into the abyss below. The second island that I wanted to suggest is an island that should be coming soon. The island in question is the desert island of Alabasta. So we've already seen some sneak peeks of what this could look like. Well, not kind of in the arena mode, but also we've seen some sneak peeks of what is coming to Alabasta. So far, a duck and the sand fruit have been showcased. I'm really looking forward to this island being added, and I'm curious as to how they'll capture the feel of Alabasta in this game. In my opinion, if you're gonna add Alabasta, you have to make it huge. I would be very disappointed if Alabasta was the size of a normal island, like Shellstown. For me, Alabasta should be the biggest island we've seen yet, with distinctive parts that make travelling interesting and fun. Some key areas that need to be added are the city of Alubana, Nanohana, and the smaller towns on the outskirts. I'll start with the most important city, Alubana. So this is the capital of Alabasta, and I'd hope that Furyu and his dev team capture the awesome buildings and the feel of this area. The most important part of the city, though, that needs to be added is the building shown in this image, the Palace of Alubana. This would probably be the location of the crocodile boss. And another key thing that I want to mention, and that would be amazing to see, would be the Tomb of the Kings, which is located west of the palace, and it would be really cool and interesting to see how GPO could add this into the game. I'd imagine that it would be pretty hard to find, but the reward could be some sort of poneglyph item, or maybe a secret weapon or something, I don't know. The second city of Alabasta that I think should be added would be the port city of Nanohana. So the city would be located on the port entrance to Alabasta, and there would be probably a few low-level quests there, and maybe a marketplace where a few cool Alabasta-specific items could be sold, like maybe a sword, maybe some outfits. The final area of Alabasta that I think needs to be added, just to add a little more depth to the island, would be the few towns that are located on the outskirts. There could be quests involving these towns. One easy quest could be to go fetch some water for a town, and then But the thing is, I want to make this clear, that if you're going to add these small quests, you have to have them give you an exclusive item that makes players go there. For example, it could be like some clothing or an accessory, like some glasses or something. But just a little thing that you have to go there to get, so that it drives players to explore the island fully. The third island that I want to mention is definitely one that is far, far off in the future. The island I'm talking about is Impel Down. So this island isn't much of an island and is more like a huge prison in the middle of the ocean. Impel Down acts as the prison for the strongest pirates in One Piece. It would be cool to see this added to the game, since the layout of Impel Down is so complex, and if it was captured well, it could make for some amazing gameplay and an amazing experience for the player. I could go deep into every single layer, but honestly that deserves a video of its own, so if you'd like to see me cover Impel Down in detail, make sure to like this video, and if this video gets 100 likes, I'll make a video going in depth on Impel Down. Anyway, back to the regular video. In GPO, I feel like an Impel Down type island would become necessary as the game progresses. I mean, imagine a level 500 player still being locked in the regular marine jail cells. It feels out of place and awkward, but I think Impel Down would work as a jail for the second sea. I think the best way to incorporate it would be to have it that if a marine captures a pirate and jails them at Impel Down, they get sent to a different level of Impel Down based on their bounty, and then their spawn is immediately set to Impel Down. And the only way to get out is to fight your way up to the top layer. I assume the Impel Down would act as a prison for combat loggers in the second sea too, so overall I think this would be more of an interactive prison experience than the current one of being stuck in a small boring cell for 30 seconds. I have to admit though, building Impel Down in Roblox would take a very long time, especially if you're going to build and script every single layer, since there are 5 official levels, 1 secret level, and a bunch of hidden tunnels. All things considered though, if you were going to add Impel Down, you would probably have to set aside a few updates for it just to add it in time, especially since it would probably have like 5 to 6 bosses, and maybe even more mini bosses and big monsters. I'd be really impressed if Furyu and his dev team actually tried to make this, and didn't just do a cop-out and make a really small Impel Down with like 2 bosses in it. I'd be happy with Furyu taking time, maybe 1 or 2 updates, to finish Impel Down properly, and I feel as though he needs to take as much time as he needs to capture all of its glory. I initially planned on covering 5 islands, but as you see by the time of this video, this took me a lot longer than expected, so I'll leave it here. If you want to see me go more in depth on any of the islands mentioned, make sure to hit that like button so we can reach the 100 likes goal. Also, please consider subscribing, it really helps me out. That's all for today. I hope you have a great morning, evening, or whatever time it is, and wherever you're at, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.